Please stand for the call to worship. Let us offer spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God through Jesus Christ, our risen Lord.
Hallelujah. Thanks be to God.
To him hail the once despised Jesus.
Praise Almighty God, in Christ you have shown us the way, revealed to us your truth, and offered to us everlasting life. Keep our eyes upon him, that we may see your path more clearly, know your truth more fully, and receive your life more abundantly. Through Christ who dwells with you and the Holy Spirit, in eternal glory. Amen. Please remain standing for the Psalter, found on page 764, Psalm 31, 1 to 8, and 15 to 16 with response 2. In you, O Lord, I seek refuge. Let me never be put to shame. In your righteousness, deliver me.
Incline your ear to me, rescue me speedily. Be a rock of refuge for me, a strong fortress to save me.
You are indeed my rock and my fortress. For your name's sake, lead me and guide me.
Take me out of the net which is in for me, for you are my refuge.
Into your hand I commit my spirit. You have redeemed me, O Lord, faithful God.
I hate those who pay regard to me and idols, but I trust in the Lord.
I will rejoice and be glad in your steadfast love, because you have seen my affliction and have taken heed to my adversities.
You have not delivered me from the hand of the enemy. You have set my feet in a broad place.
My times are in your hand. Deliver me from the hand of my enemies and my persecutors.
Let your face shine on your servant. Save me through your steadfast love.
You may be seated and those waiting to come in. The prayer for illumination is hymn number 599. 55 through 60. Stephen, filled with the Holy Spirit, gazed into heaven and saw the glory of God and Jesus standing at the right hand of God. "Look," he said, "I see the heavens opened and the Son of Man standing at the right hand of God." But they covered their ears, and with a loud shout, they all rushed together against him. Then they dragged him out of the city and began to stone him. And the witnesses laid their coats at the feet of a young man named Saul. While they were stoning Stephen, he prayed, "Lord Jesus, receive my spirit." Then he knelt down and cried out in a loud voice, "Lord, do not hold this sin against them." When he had said this, he died. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
The second scripture reading comes from 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 2 through 10. Like newborn infants, long for the pure spiritual milk, so that by it you may grow into salvation, if indeed you have tasted that the Lord is good. Come to him, a living stone, though rejected by mortals, yet chosen and precious in God's sight. And like living stones, let yourselves be built into a spiritual house, to be a holy priesthood, to offer spiritual sacrifices, acceptable to God through Jesus Christ. For it stands in Scripture, "See, I am laying in Zion a stone, a cornerstone, chosen and precious, and whoever believes in him will not be put to shame." To you then who believe, he is precious, but for those who do not believe, the stone that the builders rejected has become the very head of the corner, and a stone that makes them stumble, and a rock that makes them fall. They stumble because they disobey the word, as they were destined to do. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's own people, in order that you may proclaim the mighty acts of him who called you out of darkness and into his marvelous light. Once you were not a people, but now you are God's people. Once you have not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
And now we'll have God's word in song by the chancel choir. Thank you, Chancellor Choir. The gospel will be brought to you as storytelling, John chapter 40.
Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God, believe in me also. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would not have told you that I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, so that where I am, you may be there also. And you know the way to the place that I am going. Thomas said to him, Lord, we don't know where you're going. How can we know the way? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you know me, you know my Father also. So from now on, you do know him and have seen him. And Philip said to him, Lord, show us the Father, and we will be satisfied. Jesus said, have I been with you all this time, Philip, and still you do not know me? Whosoever has seen me, has seen the Father. Whosoever has seen me, has seen the Father. How can you say, show us the Father? Do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? These things I say to you, I do not speak of myself, but of the Father who dwells in me. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. If you do not, then believe me because of the works themselves. Very truly I tell you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do. In fact, will do greater works than these, because I'm going to the Father. I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If in my name you ask me for anything, I will do it. These are the words of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Seated. We're ready now to receive a new child as one of our members through baptism. And also to acknowledge in a minute also those who are on the cradle roll. We ask parents, sponsors, godparents to come forward as we sing. baptism, we are initiated into Christ's holy church. We are incorporated into God's mighty acts of salvation and given new birth through water and the Spirit. All this is God's gift offered to us without price.
I present Gianna Daniela Narchette for baptism.
On behalf of the whole church, I ask you, do you renounce the spiritual forces of wickedness, reject the evil powers of this world, and repent of your sin? You're not sure. I ask them again. On behalf of the whole church, I ask you, do you renounce the spiritual forces of wickedness, reject the evil powers of this world, and repent of your sin? Now you're sure. Do you accept the freedom and power God gives you to resist evil, injustice, and oppression in whatever forms they present themselves? Do you confess Jesus Christ as your Savior, put your whole trust in His grace, and promise to serve Him as your Lord in union with the church, which Christ has opened to people of all ages, nations, and races? Will you nurture this child in Christ's holy church, that by your teaching and example she may be guided to accept God's grace for herself, to profess her faith openly, and to lead a Christian life? Congregation, do you as Christ's body of the church reaffirm both your rejection of sin and your commitment to Christ? Will you nurture one another in the Christian faith and life, and include these persons now before you in your care? Let us join together in professing the Christian faith as contained in the scriptures of the Old and New Testaments. Do you believe in God the Father?
I believe in God the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth.
Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
I believe in Jesus Christ, the only Son of the Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended to the dead. On the third day he rose again. He ascended into heaven. He is seated at the right hand of the Father, and will come again to judge the living and the dead.
Do you believe in the Holy Spirit?
I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and the life everlasting.
Let us pray. Pour out your Holy Spirit to bless this gift with water, and she who receives it, to wash away her sin and clothe her in righteousness throughout her life, that dying and being raised with Christ, she may share in his final victory. All praise to the Eternal Father, through his Son Jesus Christ, who with you and the Holy Spirit lives and reigns forever.
Amen.
Now we make our pledge. Members of the household of faith, I commend to your love and care of this child whom we today recognize as a member of the family of God. Will you endeavor so to live that she may grow in the knowledge and love of God through our Savior Jesus Christ? God's help. Page 44 in the hymn. We must say this because it's very important. with God's help, we will so order our lives after the example of Christ, that this child, surrounded by steadfast love, may be established in the faith and confirmed and strengthened in the way that leads to life eternal. So may the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, and be gracious unto you. Lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you peace now and always. Amen. I'm going to ask that you receive this child as she goes down the aisle. Welcome her into the congregation. Yes, and yes. What is the cradle roll? The cradle roll consists of all the children that we baptize up to age 4 when they receive them in the Sunday school. We have about 100 children over the last 4 years. But only those that responded are here, so we wanted to stand and recognize them as we welcome them on this Mother's Day. Charles Mason Holt, Sarah Ivory Simpson, and Mackenzie Wilson. Give them a hand. God continue blessing upon these children, upon their parents, upon our church and our Sunday school as we grow them up in the knowledge of God and as we give them love from day to day. Thank you.
We will now have God's word in dance. Order my steps in your word.
My
identify with the mothers in our congregation. And you should start with the oldest mother. Is that the right one to start with? Possibly the oldest mother in our congregation. Let's start today. Let's start with 90. Higher? 96. Low? Ah, is somebody who's 96 years old? 95? 94? Oh my goodness. Yes, there's a 94-year-old. 93. Yeah, 94. Okay, 93. 93 and a half. Miss Brown? Yes. It's the mother of Miss Perrin, right? Miss Jean Perrin. The mother with the most children. Let's start with 15. John Beson's mother had it. 40. 30. 12. Someone else 12? 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. Oh, we have a 6 over here. Oh, wow. You keep down there this way. All right. All right. You want the one with the most grandchildren. Let's start with 100. All right, 50. 40. 39. 38. 37. 36. 35. 20. 29. 28. 27. 26. 25. 24. You must have a 24. 23. 22. 20. 19. 18. 18 going once. 17. 16. 15. 14. 13. 12. You must have people with 12 grandchildren. Yeah, come to church today. All right, 11. 10. All right, 10. 10 is a good. Ah, here's a 10 in the back. 10 grandchildren. Stand up there. Sorry. More. 10 grandchildren. Wait. Look at all the youngest mother. That's the one here. The youngest mother, first of all, the one who's the youngest mother in here today. Huh? The youngest one first. The youngest. The youngest first. Yeah. What do I start with? 15? 16? 17? 20. All right, 20. The newest one. All right, that's easier. Oh, the newest one right here. What's next then? The pastor's wives. How do they qualify? Are they going to have more children in the future or something? All right, a good promise. Pastor's wives, please stand. Mrs. Murdoch, Mrs. Perrin. Oh, yes, they have a visitor with us. She's all the way from New Jersey. Good. Welcome. Stand up again, yes? Yes, the pastor's wife. All right. What's the next one now? No more? Yeah, your youngest mother didn't stand up. But obviously can go so this. Oh, 24. 25, 26, 27. Are you 27 years old? 28, 29. Oh, we have a 29 youngest mother. All right. Thank you very much. I see you still have some more flowers. 27? Okay, go ahead. Yes, she qualified. She qualified. So these are, give them a big hand for me. We want to wish them all a very happy Mother's Day. That's what the time is this. God bless you.
Good morning and welcome to this sunny, beautiful day. Honor our steps, Lord, today. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Mothers, godmothers, aunts, happy Mother's Day. Grandmothers, happy Mother's Day. Are there any guests worshiping with us today for the first time, second, third time? Could you please, yes, am I right? Please stand. Give us your name, church affiliation, if you can. And ushers coming around with the mic.
I'm Sandra Blago. I'm visiting from Falmouth, Jamaica. And I bring greetings from the Falmouth Baptist Church, where Texas is the minister. Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome.
Good morning, my name is Samantha Narchet. This is not my first time, it's probably my third time here. And this is my husband.
Good morning, my name is Nathan Melchett. This is my first time here.
My name is Jacko Pinnock, and this is my first time here.
Welcome, welcome.
My name is Emmanuel Eugene. This is my first time.
Welcome.
My name is Amanda Edwards, and this is my first time here.
Welcome.
My name is Jada Robinson, and this is my first time here.
Welcome. Please be seated. Any other guests worshiping with us today? St. John's, let us give our guests a warm welcome. Anyone celebrating birthdays today or this week or last week? Please stand. Next, please.
Good morning, St. John's. Good morning. My name is Hyacin Ellis, and I just want to wish my husband, Efton, happy birthday. Today, he's not here. Today is his birthday. He turned 67.
Happy birthday, Efton.
Yeah. And I also want to celebrate Melissa's birthday, our daughter. She turns 21 on Wednesday. I just want to thank you for the prayers because Melissa grew up in this church. She came here when she was 10 days old. And now she's 21. So thank you very much for the prayers, and I wish her success, and I please continue to pray for her.
Happy birthday, Melissa.
Good morning, St. John's. My name is Charmaine Cox. I just want to say today is my son Xavier Thompson's birthday. He's 24. Let's continue to pray for him. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Xavier.
Good morning, St. John's. First of all, I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers here. And May 7th was my birthday. And thank the Lord year 48.
Happy birthday. One more birthday?
Good morning, St. John's. It's not my birthday, but May 11th at 11:01 a.m. we had a new addition to the family. My granddaughter was born 6 pounds, 15 ounces. What a good fun. Thank you.
Birthday. Any more birthdays? So let's sing the birthday song. Are there any anniversaries this week, last week? You said? Excellent.
Good morning again. Last week, my husband and I, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary.
Amen. The anniversary.
My name is Annette Johnson. I am related to Sister Marlene over there. And May the 2nd, myself and Gordon Johnson here, we celebrate our 44-year anniversary.
More anniversaries? Congratulations, especially who's in that anniversary. St. John's, let us greet each other with a hug, with a kiss. Greet each other.
here at St. John's, we practice a safe sanctuary policy. So parents, please make sure that your children are within your sight at all times. The flowers on the altar are for congratulations to PTA President Annette Brown upon receiving Educational Leadership Award from Senator Leroy Comrie on May 11th. This was given to her for leadership dedication. Congratulations, Annette. Also, in loving memory of Vinette Mary, gone but never forgotten. Love, Margaret, Katrina, and Eva. Flowers on the altar also for Happy Mother's Day to Miss Yvonne Applewhite. We're thinking about you and you're in our prayers. Happy Mother's Day from the St. John's Health and Wellness Ministry. Happy Mother's Day also to my wonderful, beautiful mom, Terry Williams, who has been there for me throughout my life. I could not say what life would be without you, but Mom, I love you. Happy Mother's Day to moms of Disciple 3. We love you and we hope that God continue to bless and keep each of you, each and every one of you. Enjoy the beautiful day that the Lord has given you. Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies who prepare and deliver meals for the Homebound program. May God continue to bless and keep you for many years to come. Your brother in Christ, Leroy Thompson. Next Saturday, St. John's Youth Group, the annual Oldies But Goodies, Saturday, May 20th at 5 p.m. The theme, Roaring Twenties. Please come out and enjoy. It's usually a beautiful celebration with our youth.
Good morning to all, and happy Mother's Day to you. Let me just put a plug in for the youth Oldies But Goodies. It's Saturday coming, and as you know, many of us are going to be at the retreat, the Disciple Bible Study retreat in Pennsylvania. So we'll be away, and therefore the youth need your support, although 35 of us will be away. Now, if I wasn't going to be away, I would have been ordering a bell-bottom pants, platform shoes, and dark glasses. Oldies but good, roaring 20s, third. So I'm going to ask you who are left back here to make sure you turn up in your bell-bottom pants, platform shoes, and dark glasses. And give you the new. An apple, yeah, you can get an apple, yes. It's too late for my apple now. So we expect to see you. And with that in mind also, there's a very important conference on May 20th at RIDE. And we are imploring our leaders, those who are not on the retreat, also to register and go to that conference. It's about church development, church growth, and all the things that we need to be doing in serving our community. And transforming communities call, and it's not too late to call in and register. Call the office, and we'll register you for that. And it's going to be from 9 to 3 in Rye, New York, transforming community. The June 11th concert is upon us. The gospel concert, the big gospel concert. And we are asked again that we continue to support. Right now, the contracts are going around for people to take our ads in the journal, on the radio, on our website, on our notice boards, and so on. So make sure that you get some of those contracts and bring your friends on board. We want to make this a real grand occasion. I know the choirs are practicing very hard. On Tuesdays, the sopranos and altos practice. On Thursdays, the tenors and basses practice. At 7:30, 7 o'clock. Right, 7 o'clock. And so we're going to ask that you come out and at those times, and those who have not yet signed up to be part of this great choir, you're asking you to sign up and be there at the rehearsal. On Sunday, next, again, the Aldersgate, this is in here, Some of us are coming back from Pennsylvania. But there's the August Gate service at Calvary UMC in the Bronx. Those who are not going to the retreat, we're going to ask you to turn up in your numbers. The preacher is Reverend Patmore Henry, coming from Antigua, and we are hoping that a large turnout will be there. He's our connectional secretary. And this program is being sponsored by the Caribbean Mission Partnership. And we're asking you to just look at the notice, bring your friends to the Bronx. It's at 5 o'clock next Sunday. The community health fair that you see here from June 24th, asking that you look at it and support it. Very important, coming from the Hollis, First United Methodist Church of Hollis, one of our sister churches. There's also notice from St. David's Episcopal Church, June 23rd, Friday, June 23. They're having a celebration of Silver Jubilee, and we're going to ask you to support them. They support us when we have our concerts, or the choir joins our choir, our men's dinner dance. They're all with us. We're going to ask that we also do that turn up in large numbers. The fund that we are raising, the birthday club drive and the funds for repairing of our building here, is moved up to $18,607.60. We're asking you to continue supporting this. We're trying to get to $100,000. The work will start on May 22nd. We start with the roof and the along the hall floor, the buildings in the kitchen. We're hoping to move into the bathrooms and have those renewed, and the other things that we have to do to restore our building to what it was. And 60 years ago, we dedicated it. So please remember to do that. The Pastoral Care Ministry will be having a first Sunday in June, a seminar for couples and those who are preparing for marriage. It's going to be very interesting. You'll hear more about it as to who will present this as we go on, but we're asking to begin to put that there aside. The first Sunday in June, after worship, we have a seminar, marriage enrichment seminar. Vacation Bible School, the notice is there, and the summer camp. There is always a long waiting list, so please don't wait to put your name on the list. And the information is there. We are moving forward with this, and we're asking that you support this Vacation Bible School and Summer Day Camp. Continue to bear in your prayers those persons who are in the hospital, at home, recovering, and families that are still grieving the loss of loved ones. Just yesterday, one of the persons who was very supportive in my early life, he passed away, is Reverend Eric Bailey, the brother of Emmons Bailey, and he passed away yesterday morning. He's the one who started the Methodist Chorale in Jamaica, and still going strong as a great choir, and we're asking to keep the Baileys in your prayers. God bless.
Please stand for the mission statement of St. John's. And we say together, St. John's United Methodist Church is a diverse community. We believe that all persons are created in the image of God, one as an empowerment of the Holy Spirit. We, the church members, are created spiritual development through Bible study, prayer, worship, and service. Our mission is to serve our community, nation, and the world in the manner exemplified by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You may be seated. Now is the time of the service where you can all participate in an offering. There will be a second offering for Mother's Day. This offering is for the Church Renovation Fund. Will ushers please come forward as we hear from the Chancel Choir with God's Word in music.
wonderful day. Pour out your blessings on all those who worship here today. Order our steps, Lord, in your word. And Lord, we want to thank you for all those who are able to give today and those who are not able to give. Bless this offering to your service for the work in your kingdom. All these things we ask in Jesus' precious name. Amen. For the hymn of preparation, number 393, Spirit of the Living God. And after that, you'll hear the voice of our own Pastor Perrin, One with Christ, that's comforting.
John 14, verse 3. So that where I am, there you may be also. Where I am, there you may be also. Let us pray. May the words of my mouth and the thoughts of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord. You are our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. We are continuing in this waking up season, this resurrection season. Is certainly a wake up call, a wake up time for us. Resurrection season. No wonder so many startling things are happening in our nation at the moment, waking us up also. We have been looking at what it means to wake up to our vows of membership. To wake up to the promises that we make, especially at baptism. To wake up to service. To wake up to Christian stewardship. How much of our time, our talents, and our treasure we are going to be giving to the building of God's kingdom and the transformation of the world. We have to wake up to what we see and what we hear in these our worship services, the baptismal services, the communion service, the sacraments, and the sacramental practices we do from time to time. And so today, I am inviting you to wake up to one of the prayers that we pray in our communion services, and to see if that prayer can serve as a catalyst to change our lives, our outlook, our behavior as children of the Heavenly Father, as followers of the way. So just before we break bread and bless wine and share the bread and the cup, we say this prayer or something similar to it. Pour out your Holy Spirit on us gathered here, and on these gifts of bread and wine. Make them be for us the body and blood of Christ, that we may be for the world the body of Christ, redeemed by his blood. By your Spirit, make us one with Christ, one with each other, and one in ministry to all the world, until Christ comes in final victory, and we feast at his heavenly banquet. Through your Son, Jesus Christ, with the Holy Spirit in your holy church, all honor and glory is yours, Almighty God, now and forever. So today we want to look at what it means to be one with Christ, one with each other, and one in ministry to all the world. The question you might ask me is, how can this happen? How does this happen? How will this happen? How can we be one with Christ, one with each other, and one in ministry to all the world? Well, the answer to that question is in God's Word. God's Word, especially as we heard it today. We go to that gospel story that was told by Ansel, and when we hear Jesus speaking, we see what Jesus is doing, and we look to Jesus for the answer. In that story, we have a clue. In that story, we receive the key to making us one with Christ, one with each other, and one in ministry to all of the world. So let's refresh our minds and go back to some background information, all right? Let's just imagine this morning that we are there in that upper room with Jesus and the disciples. Let's take a name of one of the disciples as our own name for this purpose. Well, we know which disciple we are not. And that's okay, because he's not in this picture anyway. That disciple has already left to do what the devil has put in his heart to do. So we are safe. We are one of the 11 disciples in that place, and Jesus is talking to us. He's not preaching, So if I talk a little soft this morning, I'm trying to just recreate the atmosphere. If you hear me shouting, just say shh. So we're going to be in that upper room at the table with Jesus. He has already washed our feet. One by one, he has washed our feet. He has already taken and blessed and broken the bread and shared the wine. And now he's saying goodbye to us. This is his last meal with us. And there is a sense of sadness here. Is it okay if I mention that on this Mother's Day, not all mothers are happy? Not all children are happy. For some of us, our mothers are no longer with us. I remember 13 years ago, my mother died just near her birthday in April. She was buried just near the end of April, and so when Mother's Day came along, for the first time in my life, I realized I didn't have a mother. And I was preaching, and it just came over me in the pulpit that day. I just sort of shocked me, And there was a sadness that came. Because that's real. We have mothers today who have lost loved ones also. Some mothers are still struggling with their children. Their children have become wayward, gone astray, even turned against them. Some women are still struggling to have children, and that can be very stressful. So some persons on this Mother's Day are grieving in one way or another, and it may be sad for them. So the setting in which Jesus is sharing with the disciples is a very sad one. He's lost Judas. He knows what Judas is about to do. He knows what will eventually happen with Peter in that little scene there. He knows that his loyal friends are going to run away and leave. And he knows that before the weekend, he will be crucified, dead, and buried.
He knows all these things, and so he himself is sad. He's saying goodbye to them. I'm going to read it from the Message translation, this conversation he's having with the 11 disciples. And just hear the tone of voice as Jesus is speaking to them. He says, don't let this throw you. You trust in God, don't you? Trust me. There is plenty of room for you in my Father's home. If that weren't so, would I have told you that I am on my way to get a room ready for you? And if I am on my way to get your room ready, I'll come again, I'll come back and get you so that you can live where I live. And you already know the road I'm taking. But Thomas said, Master, we have no idea where you're going. How do you expect us to know the road? And Jesus said, I am the road. Also the truth. Also the life. No one gets to the Father apart from me. If you really knew me, you would know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him. You've even seen him. Philip said, Master, show us the Father. Then we'll be content. You've been with me all this time, Philip, and you still don't understand. To see me is to see the Father. So how can you ask, where is the Father? Don't you believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? The words that I speak to you are mere words. I just don't make them up on my own. The Father who resides in me crafts each word into a divine act. Believe me, I am in my Father and my Father is in me. If you can't believe that, believe what you see. These words. The person who trusts me will not only do what I'm doing, but even greater things, because I, on my way to the Father, I'm giving you the same work to do that I've been doing. You can count on it. From now on, whatever you request along the lines of who I am and what I am doing, I'll do it. That's how the Father will be seen for who he is in the Son. I mean it. Whatever you request in this way, I'll do. Aren't those comforting words? No wonder they are used at funeral service. Can you see what it means to be one with Christ? Jesus was one with the Father. That's a given. And he's emphasizing that in this particular passage here. But in this particular moment, he's also one with his disciples. Even if they are not all one with him, he is one with them. He's not preaching, as I said, he's just sharing. He's one in a very remarkable and symbolic way. You see, he took their dusty feet in his hands, and one by one, person by person, he washed their feet. So he washed our feet. Brother Peter objects, and Jesus tells Peter to relax, man, cool it, man, cool it. Not only is Jesus doing this to show his oneness with them, to show that although he was their teacher, their Lord, their master, he did not think anything at all of becoming one with them, stooping to wash their feet. And Peter's objection was Peter's refusal to become one with Christ. Jesus demanded that Peter, and therefore that we, be one with him. So how do we become one with Christ? We can't really. Well, let's just say we can't on our own. And the incident that Peter demonstrates that. It is Jesus who first reaches out to us. He becomes one with us. He first. What Jesus did with Peter and the others is what God has done by sending Jesus himself. God reached out to a sinful world. God sought to become one with us, the incarnation, and God sent Jesus. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten. You know the rest of that. And that is what we call the grace of God. The grace of God. It is a love that we do not deserve, and we cannot earn it by our good works, good deeds, or anything else that we do or say. We just can't. God becomes one with us because God chose to become one with us and shower God's grace upon us. It is for us to accept and not reject, as Peter was trying to do. And how often we ourselves reject God's invitation to become one with God. And until we allow Jesus to make us one with him, we cannot be one with each other also. Jesus commanded his disciples to do the same to each other and for each other. One with each other. We become one with each other when we acknowledge that Jesus is embracing us at the same time that Jesus is embracing our brother and our sister, all of us together. Is that a strange concept to understand? No. Jesus himself did talk about the mother hen gathering her chicks, embracing them all, loving them all together. They were one under the mother. And that's what Jesus is trying to do. Not hard for us to understand. You see, in the story of the prodigal son, the older brother was very displeased that his loving and forgiving father embraced a wayward and good-for-nothing son who returned after disgracing the father and the entire family. But in God's kingdom, good-for-nothing people are good for God. God can make a difference in our life. That grudgeful son, you may not see the word grudgeful in any English dictionary, but we all know what it means. Full of grudges, fighting. See, the older boy refused to be one with his father, and by doing so, he could not be one with his brother. Mother's Day is a good day to grasp that concept of being one with each other. For you see, our mother is the one who will love us when we are on the honor roll, and will love us the same when we are in Sing Sing prison or Rikers Island. It will not change. A mother's love is the nearest thing to God's love you can ever experience. And if you think about it, our mothers and the role that they play in our families make it possible for us to be one with each other. Sometimes, children can become jealous of each other. Me that, my mother loved my sister more than she loved me. My brother, become jealous and they get angry about that. That may very well be some cases. Because, in the Bible itself, we see a parent. His name was Jacob. And he sort of curried favor with Joseph. He was partial towards Joseph. The Bible said that Jacob loved Joseph more than all of his sons. Doesn't even mention he had a daughter named Dinah. He had a daughter, right? Yeah, Dinah. They don't even mention her. The son, but Joseph was the one. It's not so with God's love. It is not so with God's love. Jesus knew that Judas would betray him, but Jesus washed Jesus' feet anyway. And he held those feet with the same love and care with which he held John's feet. You see, when we accept God's love and allow ourselves to become one with Christ, we will find a way to become one with each other. When we become one with each other, we become one in ministry to all the world. In our mission statement, we say that we intend to serve our community, nation, and the world in a manner exemplified by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Jesus calls us to be one with each other so that we can be one in ministry, so that we can be united in service. Jesus, in that series of farewell discussions he's having with the disciples, says that just as he and the Father are one, so we need to be one with each other. He goes on to talk about the vine and being a part of that, the vine and the branches sticking together, being one, united. Pope John the 23rd, in 1962 to 65, he had what is called the Vatican Council, the Second Vatican Council. He announced the council in 59, and everybody got ready, and all roads led to Rome. And he invited what he called his estranged brethren. The estranged brethren, the Protestant churches. He invited the Eastern Orthodox churches, an ecumenical council, because he saw the disunity in the Christian church as a great scandal. The word scandal means a stumbling block. And the question the Pope asked was this: how can a divided church minister or witness to a divided world? And that question remains the same today. Not only are we divided as the body of Christ, we are divided even within our denominations as United Methodists. We are also divided sometimes within the congregations that we serve. And until we can find ways and means of becoming one, then our work will not be as effective as God would like to bless it. I believe Paul offers us an insight into how we can become one with each other and so be one in our ministry. He said that we are to bear each other's burdens. Bear one another's burdens. For me, this means that if I find it hard to be one with somebody else, if I find it one to be in harmony or in unity with someone else, it is my duty to understand what it is that I am doing that's causing that. Or what it is that the other person is going through that makes it hard for that person to communicate and for us to be loving sisters and brothers. What burden is my brother or my sister bearing, and how can I help? Some persons are bearing all kinds of burdens. You name it, they are bearing. Health challenges, financial, family problems, psychological burdens such as guilt or shame, you name it. And we are called to be one with each other so that we may be one in ministry. That's what pastoral care ministry is all about. Caring about each other, caring for each other. It's not about us. It's about God. It's about how we can love God and love others. It's about how we can serve God through serving others. And Jesus begins by saying, don't let this throw you. In other words, let not your hearts be troubled. You trust God, don't you trust me? There's plenty of room for you in my Father's house. Not only is there room enough and room to spare in our heavenly home with Jesus, but even here in this earthly kingdom, there is room. God has space for everyone, right here and right now. If that were so, he said, would I have told you that I am on my way to get a room ready for you? And when I'm on my way to get your room ready, I'll come back and get you so that you can live where I live. You already know the road I'm taking. May I invite you on this Mother's Day to be on that road. Jesus says, where I am, there you may be also. And that is comforting. Very comforting. That is very hopeful. That's very rewarding. If we can experience it even here and now. Jesus says, you already know the road I am taking. Yes, Lord, we know the road. You've shown us the road. You are the way, the truth, and the life. The road is the road of love. The road is the road of unity. The road is the road of oneness. The road is the road of service. So this morning, on this Mother's Day, let us seek to be one with God, one with each other, and one in service to our community, nation, and the world. In the manner exemplified, our Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ. Let us pray. Lord, make us one with you, one with each other, and one in service to all the world. In your loving name we pray. Amen. Touched by the lodestone of thy love, let all our hearts agree, and ever toward each other move, and ever move toward thee. As we stand and sing this, and I invite you to come to the altar for prayer, praying for yourselves and for others, praying that God will allow you to commit yourself more fully to Him, or to recommit yourself. Let's stand as we sing 561. Jesus, united by thy grace. God, we come to you in prayer right now. Knowing, oh God, in prayer we approach the throne of grace, and your grace is sufficient, available to all of us, whether we deserve it or not. We thank you for that, oh God. Your love is free, but yet it's costly because it was won through the blood of your Son, Jesus Christ. He gave his life that we might live. So today, O God, as we come to your throne of grace, as we come to the altar of your love, we lay ourselves before you, O God. Look at us, O God. You see all of us. You know everything about each one of us. You know our needs. Before we ask, you're already looking after us. That's just who you are. So today, oh God, we come bringing before you the needs we have for healing. Body and mind and spirit, relationship, finances, healing. Whatever kind of healing we need, oh God, you are our healer. We thank you for Jesus, who keeps on walking by us. Oh God, where 2 or 3 are gathered in His name, He is always in our midst. And when you're present in our midst, oh God, there is new wine. You turn water into wine. Powerful things happen. You raise the dead in. You heal the sick. You restore the outcasts, the lepers. And God, we just want to thank you that you are still in the healing business. We bring before you now, God, ourselves. Heal us. We bring before you our loved ones who are in hospitals or nursing homes, wherever they may be, heal them. Walk near to them, touch them, oh God. When the nurse's hand touches them, oh God, it is your hands upon them. When the doctors diagnose and pronounce, it is your wisdom at work. So God, be with them in your mighty power. Stand among us in your risen power. And heal to the uttermost. Give us on a day like this, oh God, faithfulness, courage, hope, because you are God. You are the Lord of life and the conqueror of death. A very present help in time of trouble. Oh God, these are troubled times, not only in our personal life, but in our national life and in the world in which we live. So many things are happening, oh God, that may make us afraid. We hear you saying again, let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. You are the mighty God. You came back from the dead to show it. To prove that you are the real thing. So Lord, hear our prayer today. We know you are already answering our prayers. But that's how you are. And take us from this place, oh God, to be the answer to prayers that others are praying. As we become your hands and your feet, your agents, your vessels of love. Hear our prayer now. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Hold hands with those who are near to you to say we are one. Thanks be to God. We are one. Thanks be to God. Go in peace and may the God of peace go with you. For Mother's Day. Mothers come in many different forms, and today we celebrate them all. Everyone here is either a son or a daughter. For those women who have joined God in heaven
and whom we miss dearly here on earth. For every woman who is working day and night to raise her children right now. For all the women who are expecting but aren't quite mothers yet. For women who took in others' children through adoption and foster care. For the women who have lost a child to death and must carry on. For all the women who have desperately wanted to have children of their own, but chose instead to mother everyone else. We thank you, Lord, for the women who have influenced our lives in so many ways. We pray that you honor them in everything we do. Amen. We'll ask Sister Vanessa to come forward and lead us now in this consecration of the Nurses Association, which is our part of the wider body that we call the Health and Wellness Ministry.
Good morning, church, and happy Mother's Day. Once again, this day is selected to focus on nurses in recognition for the great job they're doing and will continue to do so, especially those at the bedside, home care, and long-term facilities, utilizing their knowledge, compassion, and skills to help individuals maintain and improve their health. Also to educate them about their treatment and care for their bodies and minds through their lifespan. The American Nurses Association has designated 2017 as the year of Healthy Nurse. This year's theme is Nursing the Balance of Mind, Body, and Spirit. A National Nurses Week was observed from May 6th to 12th, which was Florence Nightingale's birthday. Here at St. John's, a decision agreed for a name change from St. John's Nurses Association to St. John's United Methodist Church Health and Wellness Ministry. The purpose of this enhancement name change is to facilitate the inclusion of all healthcare workers, making the ministry more integrated. It is to promote health education to our members and the community at large through wellness maintenance and illness prevention. Now at this time, I'd like to reflect in closing those members who have gone to be with their Creator. The founder of the then called Nurses Association was Daisy Court-Peart. Diane Payne, Phyllis Denal Sampson, Gloria Rose, Ruby Medley, Elaine Webb, Merlene Saunders, Almina Scott, Sadie Sharrington, and Mary Nurse. May their souls rest in peace, and thank you for your ongoing support, and stay well.
Praying for our nurses and ask the nurses and those who are in the via the Health and Wellness Ministry to come forward at this time as we come to the rail for this rededication. Nurses and members of the Health and Wellness Ministry, will you solemnly pledge yourself before God in this congregation to live your life and practice your profession faithfully?
I will.
Will you do all in your power to maintain and elevate the standard of your profession, holding in confidence all personal matters committed to your keeping in the practice of your calling?
I will.
Will you, with loyalty to Christ Jesus, endeavor to perform your labor with sensitivity, thoroughness, and the love of Jesus, and to devote yourself to the welfare of those committed to your caring? The congregation, we rejoice to recognize you as members of the St. John's United Methodist Health and Wellness Ministry. And we thank God that you have responded to the call of this Christian service. We will support you with our prayers and our efforts, and together we will strive to minister to the needs of all our brothers and sisters. If you can, you may kneel, and together we will pray this prayer. Gracious and loving God, help us to be large in thought, in word, in deed, grant that we may realize the little things of God that create differences, and in the big things of life, we are one. May we strive to touch and to know the great common human heart of us all. And may we not forget to be kind. O Lord Jesus, you have said, whatever you did for one of the least important of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it for me. Consecrate these servants whom you have called to tend your sick and suffering children. Give them patience and tenderness, wisdom and truthfulness, and the special guidance of your Holy Spirit in their work, so that they may faithfully minister to those to whom you shall send them, that your way may be known in their daily lives and your saving help.
Amen. You may go back to your seat, and before they settle that, you just inform the church that our denomination, the United Methodist Church, ordained our very first parish nurse, or consecrated our very first parish nurse, not in this conference, in another conference, because it's possible for you to move forward into that kind of nursing. Parish nurse means you're a part of the church's staff, looking after health issues and so on. So if you are so called, let our lay leaders know that, and we'll show you how to do it.
God bless you.
God's blessings and thank you for all those involved with the Health and Wellness Ministry. Where I am, there you will be also. Jesus reassures us that
He is one with us, and we have to accept his invitation to be one with each other. Please stand for the prayer. And we say in unison, Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, whose Son Jesus Christ shared at Nazareth the life of our earthly home, bless our homes, we pray. Help parents to impart the knowledge of you and your love, and children to respond to the love and obedience. May our homes be blessed with peace and joy, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Our closing hymn is Faith of Our Mothers, found in your bulletins or on the screen.
Just a reminder that the men are meeting right after worship. And also that before they leave here today as mothers, after the choir recesses, the Sunday school children will be giving out some gifts to you, right in your pews. Go from this place by the power of the Spirit, to live and to work to God's praise and glory. May the blessing of God Almighty, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit rest, remain, and abide with us all, now and forevermore. Amen. Be seated.